Hello guys, it's me again, Samuel Chika, and yet with another exciting offer. In this course, I'm going to be teaching you how to choose the best fonts for your project. We'll be looking at understanding typography, how to achieve hierarchy with font, kenning, tracking, and tweaking your fonts to your desired output. Also, I'll be teaching you from my wealth of experience best practices on how to get the desired fonts for your project. I'll show you 10 websites where you can download free fonts with licenses, and I'll also teach you how to replicate fonts. I believe there are some fonts you love on other people's designs here. I will teach you how to achieve them. Just ensure you click on the link or you scan the QR code to join this course, and trust me, this is absolutely free. Come, let me answer all your font questions. Details are on the flyers. See you in class. Good day everyone, this is Samuel Chika yet with another wonderful tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be talking about how you can choose the right fonts for your project. I'm going to be sharing 6 steps, 6 steps that would help you improve your choice selection and also make your design pop professionally. So just stay with me as we go through this. So please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, I want you to subscribe to this channel and also like it. By doing so you would enable YouTube to suggest this channel to people. Of course, we're trying to help our community, so I want to plead that you also be a part of those that would help our graphics design community grow. So this is choosing the right font for your project, and we'll just go right in. So first of all, before we talk about choosing the right font for our project, we need to understand the different types of fonts. I believe a lot of us must have gone through this here, so I won't be taking much of our time here. It's just the basics. We have few basic different types of fonts, and I would like to say I wouldn't want you to be intimidated by my Photoshop interface. These processes you can actually do it on various design software or platform. This is almost the same with Canva, I believe Pixel Lab, Corel Draw, Illustrator, InDesign. They still have the same processes. So we just have few types of fonts here, and we'll just discuss them. So the first on my list is the serif, right? So one thing that makes the serif unique is this protruding edge it has here, right? So anywhere you see a font with this kind of edge, it's a serif font. The next one on my list is the slab serif. Here you can see the slab kind of protruding edge, right? It's quite different from this. So basically the difference between a slab serif and a serif is just their protruding edges. So let's go through to see. So the next on my list is the sans-serif, right? So the sans-serif just means fonts without serif, right? Fonts without serif. And of course we understand that these are serif, right? This is the slab and this is the serif itself, and this is no serif. So if you check, they don't have those edges, right? And next on my list is the script font. We have the script font. This is the script font, and we also have the black letter. And black letter is actually the first font that came into play before other fonts came in. We have the monospace, we have the handwriting, and we have the decorative. So for now we'll just build on this. So I want us to be patient, to understand this basic, that we have different kinds of font. Now let's not forget that these fonts are categories. So how do I mean categories? So if I come here, this is where you select font in Photoshop. I just click down here, and once I click down, I come to all classes, I click here and I choose serif. So what this means now is I've conditioned Photoshop to only show me the serif fonts installed on my system. So these are simply different kinds of serif fonts on my system. So you have Bodoni. Bodoni is quite a popular font. You have Brandy, you have this is Butler. So you can see all the serif here on the font. So if I also come to my filter here and click on slab serif, now you can see the few slab serif fonts I have. The same thing as if I come to sans-serif. Now in sans-serif, of course, the popular they have popular fonts. Yeah, you have Archivo, you have Bebas, you have Asifoma, you have Avena, even your normal area is there, right? So you have your lasso and all. So I just want to understand that the types of fonts is just different categories of font. Yeah, like I said, as we continue, you will understand why we need to create this foundation as we're learning how to choose the right font for our project. The first thing you need to do to choose the right font for your project is to understand the mood of the message. Every project, every design has a message. As a designer, it is important that you first understand the mood of the message. Now, this is important because um, every message carries emotions, right? It carries an audience, then also it carries a format. So before you want to jump into that project, it is necessary that you first understand, you ask questions, right? You ask a lot of questions. So please, what is this design all about? Who are the target audience? Where do you want to place this design? Are you using this design just only on social media, or are you printing flyers, are you printing banners, are you converting them into a book? Now these are the questions you should freely ask your your client. It is important, right? It is important because the clearer you are on a project, the more you can think creatively on how to make it happen. So before you choose the right font, you must first understand the mood of that project. Talking about modes, there are a lot of things you can put into consideration. Yeah, you can think about the font to use to convey that kind of mood. So, for instance, if a design is trying to project an happy mood, I'll just put happy here and happy here, and then zoom this. Yeah, I'll zoom this. Yeah, so this is just like I said, we're talking about how to choose the right fonts for your project. So we have two happy here, and let me just select this and come to my category here, and let me say scripting font here, and choose any of these script fonts. So let me choose this, or let me choose this here. So talking about mode, which gives a happy mood, the first one or the second one? So if you actually said the second one, you're right. So you can see your fonts can actually help you project a mood. So we can do something else by maybe talking about maybe Monday. Yeah, we know Monday is an official day all over the country. Yeah, maybe in the world. So Monday. So which gives the Monday emotions, the Monday vibe? Is this? It gives Monday. So you see, your font can just help you communicate the mood. So in other words, your font is one of the major important element when it comes to designing. Yeah, so once you can't project the feelings and the emotions of a message through your font, then you've not passed the message. So I guess you understand this. So let's go to the second one. Now start with your go-to font. Now we understand that on the internet there are a lot of resources, yeah, resources that can make life easier. Also, those resources can make one miserable and confused. Yeah, imagine going on the internet now to look for maybe fonts, font generally. You'd see millions of fonts, and in most cases, that can leave you very confusing and can limit your level of creativity. So, it is important that before you jump right into the internet, you try to start with your go-to fonts. So for me, I have go-to fonts like Lato, like Bebas, like Montserrat, and all that. Now, why do I do that? I do that so that I would have an idea of how I want my font to look like. So even though I'm eventually going online to get my searches, I already have a frame in my mind that I want this font to look like this. So it's very important you first, go to your system and look for fonts. So for me, what I do is, so let's say I have a project, and in the project the theme is glory. So what I do first, I will just type glory, yeah, type glory, and try to make it big. Yes. So when I do that, then I get into my font. Yeah, in most times, if I don't have an idea of how I want it to be like. Yeah, so you can actually search all classes. So in this case, I'm searching all classes. All classes means that I'm searching all classes of my font, right? Inclusive the serif, sans serif, script, and all. I can as well limit my search. So most cases, your client might say, okay, I need you to design for me on serif font. So in that case, I will just click on serif, and then I will manually look for glory. Now look at this this passenger display, right? It's a beautiful font I've been using for a while now, and this is a good font. So let's say I have passenger display. Yeah, so what I can do is, let me just reduce it. Let me reduce this, and just drop it here. Then I will duplicate it, then continue to search. Yeah, so what I do most times is, this is also a nice font. This is perpetual 13. Yeah, this is also a nice one. So for me, what I do is, I make about maybe 5 options before then I choose the one that I feel projects my message. You get, so in this process, you are also trying to know the kind of font you have, because in most times those fonts you re-download on the website to use, right, you have them on your machine already, because you've not been able to, search. Now I forgot to say this, right? The process of font selection could be a tedious one. Yeah, it's not easy. The truth is, nothing comes easy, right? So the more you search for fonts, the more chances you see better fonts that can project the message that you are trying to communicate to your audience. So like I said, for me, this is my process. This is how I search fonts. So in most cases, I might come here. Let me bring this glory down here, and reduce it a little bit. Yeah, reduce this a little bit, then I'll duplicate it, then I would make one capital letter, all caps, then select the two, then I will do my search like this. So in doing my search like this, I have a view of how this font will be, both in small letters and both in capital letters, and I can go all the way until I get something I'm looking for. So please, once you have questions, you can always drop it on the comment section. Then number 3 is to upgrade. So when I say upgrade, what do I mean? Now upgrade is just to play around with other fonts, some similar kinds of font but different from the first go-to font I actually checked or I actually used. So now in doing this, it's just like trying to refine my processes. So in most cases, instead of using Arial, this Arial is a very old font. You can use Lato or maybe Helvetica to just get that design done. So you get, now this is Arial here, and this is Lato, right? You can see how this gives a more refined professional look to this, right? So it's just simply, after you've been able to get a font, then you just try to upgrade, look for something different. At least have like 2 or 3 or 4 choices, before you make your selections. Now in designing, you see, one of the things I think I have an edge over my client is, I'm not always tired to give them something new. Like when they say, no, I don't like this, can you do something better? And anytime I come up with something new, it's always better, you see. So for me, my design processes are actually an opportunity for me to learn new things. You see, that is why professional designers are just different from all those roadsides or maybe all those production kind of designers you have in some printing hubs and all, that they always replicate design. So instead of always replicating designs, I think you should always upgrade, always grow, search for fonts. If you're always using maybe Lato for your designs, you try to change it to maybe Archivo. You just try to upgrade. Yeah, it's good that people see your signature on your design, but it's also good that you are growing. I don't know if you get the idea. Now number 4, this is where you can go online. So after you've been able to understand the emotions of your design, yeah, you've checked your fonts. Now you are sure that your fonts are not giving you that feel, or they are not passing the message effectively, then you can now go online. So when you go online, what you are looking for is already what you've built on over time. So like I said, the reason why you should go to your go to font is because in that go to font, you would have a frame, you have an idea of how your font should look like. So let me just go back and let me look at this glory. So let's say I want my glory font, to be all caps, right? So when I go online, right, I would focus on glory fonts that are all caps. Now, why would I do this? I would do this because so that I don't get miserable and confused. So it's just in plain English, right? Because when you go online, you definitely see a lot of glory fonts, right? A lot of fonts that can make you confused, and in most times it limits you. Then you start doubting your creative power. So it is very important that you have a frame, you have something in mind that you are searching from. So I would just quickly go to my browser and go to Pinterest. Pinterest is one of those sites where you can get design inspiration. So for my team, Glory, it suggests that this is a church program, right? So I can just say Glory Church flyer. Now, when it comes to searching, right? When it comes to searching stuff on the internet, right? Most times you might not have the right words to search. Yeah, but you can just play around what you have. Like, of course, look at what I have, Glory Church flyer. I'm not sure there's anything like Glory Church flyer, but once I click my enter, I believe, yeah, you can see I have a lot of glory. You can see glory here. Okay, I can see something similar to what I'm looking for. This is ninth of glory. So this is another suggestion. Now, in this case, you can understand that they used a sans-serif font. I believe the first glory I did is actually a serif, right? So let's just go down to confirm. Yeah, you can see it's a serif. So this search now gives me another view that, instead of using a serif font for glory, I can as well use a sans-serif font. So if I keep going down, yeah, now like I said, there are a lot of designs here that might get you very confused, right? But I just want to stick with glory on all caps, right? This is another glory, and you have this glory on a serif font, and you can see how nice this glory is looking. So now having this idea would help you learn how to tweak your font. Okay, you can see in these cases the spaces around this glory, yeah, okay, these spaces are not in order. Yeah, I would get to solve this. So you can see this GL, the space here is different from this one here, is different from this one here. So you can then get to pick things like this. So okay, then put them on your design. So now you can as well save these designs. Yeah, you can save this design. So I forgot to say, now there is nothing new under the sun. There is no design you've done that somebody have not done and someone will not do. So it's a creative world, right? You can draw inspiration. There's this book, Still Like an Artist. Yeah, if you can get it, get it. The point is, there's really nothing new. There's really nothing new. So it's always good that when you are stealing, sorry for using the word stealing, but when you are stealing or drawing inspiration, you draw inspiration from a lot of people, then you use that to come original. Yeah, so I've done designs that before I designed them, I had to come online, to check, okay, what kind of fonts they use, what kind of colors they use. And when I brought everything together, I came out original. And to some people, I'm the best graphic designer on earth. Yeah, best graphic designer on earth, using other people's resources to come out good. So that's how it is. Oh, this is a very nice design anyway, but I think it's out of what we are talking about. So this is the idea. Most times, while you search, your mind should also be open to nice designs, especially, using fonts and all. So let's say we've been able to conclude in our minds that we use this glory. Yeah, you can save it. Of course, look at it and save it. So let me go back to my Photoshop and then work on this. So in this case, what I can do here, I'll just come here and reduce the tracking. So let me say I reduce the tracking to 50. And I have something like this. So you can see how going online can just help you just add little flavors to your font selection. So the next on, okay, there are still sites we've not visited, right? Okay, so there are sites like, of course, this is Google Font. Sorry, not font. This is Google. This is Google Font. So and this is also 1001 font. So I'm going to show you how to use this font, especially Google Font and this font. So let's quickly go into Google Fonts. So Google Fonts, I think I have it loaded here. So now sometimes when you get into, let's say you've tried all your fonts on your system and you're not seeing anything good, something that represents, something that sells your message. Now let me say this. Sometimes I do designs. Of course, I do designs for people, and then after working maybe 3 hours on a particular flyer, after that I create a new flyer. Then after I create the new flyer, most times my clients will go for the new flyer that maybe I didn't even spend up to 20 minutes to create. Now, sometimes I feel bad about it, but this is the consolation part. Those font searches were simply building blocks to arrive at this one that I did for 20 minutes and people accepted. So you see, that's why I said it should be more of a growing process, right? Because as you are digging into fonts, your minds are actually working. It's important. Those processes are actually important. So I'm sure you must have experienced it. You spend some days doing a design, and the one you just do in 10 minutes, boom, people are shouting, wow, this is a great font. Now, without those 3 days of font searching, there is no way you would have gotten to this 10 minutes design you did. So I don't know if you got that. Yeah, that is a consolation message for somebody anyway. So this is Google Fonts. Yeah, let's say you've tried all your system font and you're not getting anything good. Now it's also good, you come to Google Font and you click on filters, and when you click on filters, you type that word that you are trying to get a good font for. So for this case, let me say glory. So once I do that, of course I can I can determine the font size, but I think I don't need to do that. So once I do that, I click on enter, and once I click on enter, you can see different kinds of font, right? You can see them, going through them. Then once you see something good, then you can choose to click. So we can just go down and keep scrolling. Now this is glory, and this glory is also good. So let's say this is the glory we want to go with. We can just click here. So when we click here, it comes, this is the name of the font, Playwright Cuba. Now it's a nice font, and I think I want to download it, and I can just click on get font, and then I can click on download all. So of course the font is downloaded on my system. Yeah, so then you can choose to install it, then use it for your design. So let me go back to font. Now let's say I'm looking for something else. So let's say I'm looking for artificial intelligence. Yeah, click enter, and you can see artificial intelligence. You can see this area science is actually giving me that feel. You get, now you can have, in fact, like I said, right, if one is not careful, you have inexhaustible options here that can make you confused and frustrated. So that's why it's good for you to have an idea of how you want your font to look like. So if you've made up your mind to say, okay, I want serif font, I want scripting font, you can just make your searches around that. Yeah, you can make your searches around that. Then there's this option here, most popular fonts, right? So you can do most popular fonts. Yeah, so this will just bring in those most popular fonts. Now let me say this, right? When designing, like I said, it's good to understand the message, and also as you understand the message, it's also very important that you make your research and make your design according to existing designs. So you're doing a particular job, right? You're doing a particular job. It's good that you model your job according to those existing jobs. Now you're trying to build a shopping cart, for instance. We have few shopping carts here that are popular in Nigeria. We have Konga, we have Jumia, right? If you visit Konga and if you visit Jumia, you see that they almost have the same functionality. Yeah, these are shopping carts, right? They should look alike in order to enable good user experience. So it's good that once you are looking for fonts, right, you should look around those fonts that are already existing. And that is why it's good for you to go online, check for designs, other designs, then you model your font. Yeah, so I know this kind of contradicts go to your system. No, the reason why you are going to your system font is just for you to have a basic idea. a basic idea, then also enable and refine your font selection processes. Once you keep searching for font on your system, there's a way it just makes you font wise, if there's any word like that. So you get, so back to this. So now you can actually come here and look for most popular fonts. Yeah, you can look for the newest font. Yeah, then you can also come to this session here and then determine what kind of font you want. So do you want all serif? Yeah. Okay, let me put this on variable. Do you want all serif? Do you want slab serif? Do you want sans serif? Do you want display? Do you want handwriting? Do you want monospace? You get, so these are just filters, just like what I did on my Photoshop. So when you understand this, right, at least it gives you a broad view of how your font should look like. So let's not forget that on the internet there are inexhaustible materials, for design. So it's good you have a frame before you jump in right into the internet. So this 100 font .com is a very popular font where you can also type what you need here, and you see glory, and you can see it updates, and then you can just choose to go through this. Right, you can choose to go through this and click on next. So you can see this is a very nice font. I like this font. This is a missionary, so you can just download. These fonts are free. You don't need to pay anything for them. Download them, and use them on your machine. So it also saves you from just installing random fonts, so at least you search what you're looking for, and you just go, then you download. Now I'd like to talk to you about another font site, which is dafont.com. Dafont.com is a very good and big font company. This is how it looks like. Yeah, it also has that preview where you can type your text here. So let's do glory, and click glory, and you can see it has updated. So you see, once you have what you're looking for, you can just click on download. So I think I've shown you three sites now where you can get good fonts. Like I said, right, you need to have a frame before you jump into this site. So let's go to the next point, which is do something different. Yeah, you see, one of the reasons why you would be a better designer is not just to stick on what you have already. So after you've done all the font selection processes, you've cancelled a lot of fonts, you've used a lot of fonts, and you have now come to that point where you feel, yes, my font is communicating, I think I'm able to pass a message. Then what you can just do is just to duplicate that design and just do something different. Yeah, like I said, that something different would not take much time, as you have done already. It of course, it will take lesser time, but at the end of the day, that something different might even be what people will be, what people would prefer. I do it to my clients. When I'm done designing, I just design again, for you to see that I'm really interested in your business. I really want your audience to understand your message. Yeah, so it's good. Like I said, every project should be a form of growing and learning for you, right? So when you engage in any project, it should be a form of learning and growing. You should want to be a better font selector. You should want to be a better graphic designer after a project. So then in order to achieve this, you can evaluate your font. So how do you evaluate your font? You can play with type cases. Yeah, make just like I did when I was searching the glory. I made one capital letter and I made the other one small letter, and I was searching. Now, one other thing you can do is to check the legibility, right? Like I said, you should also understand the audience you are designing for, and you should check the legibility. So most times when I'm done designing, what I do is I just zoom in to see how legible my font is. Now, I can't do this on my screen, but I do it on my phone. I just bring my phone backward, and check if my font is still clear. So I see a lot of designs out there where you can't even read the text on social media. Most social media designs, right? You can't read the text. And I'm asking myself, who would really have the time to zoom, to zoom to see what is written there? So once you have to zoom or strain your eyes to read an information on a flyer, then I think that flyer is not communicating, which is a bad design already. So you can also check the space between. Now you can see this do something different, right? I had to play with the spaces in between. So it's actually called tracking. Yeah, it's called tracking. So I can increase the spaces, and I can just make them tight a little bit. So this is just ways to make your fonts come out, unique, right? You just check them. So that is after you are done, right? You can increase the space within, stretch them, and stretch them in back to see if they would look more refined and professional. Then you can also check the weight. So for check the weight, so let's say I have do something, I can just come to do something here, and the weight, and I'll make it medium to see if this makes sense. So I don't know, I think I would prefer, let me also make this medium. Yeah, so do something different. I think this is good. Now it depends on where I want to drag my attention. Is it on something or on different? So let's say I want this something to be regular, then I want this different to be bold. Let me make it black. So you can see how this just changes the look of this design, right? So that's how it works. So when you are done designing, you don't just play around, increase the space, make the weight, make some stronger, reduce some, and with that you just find out that, wow, this design is getting better. Then one other thing you should do is to ask a trusted friend and a mentor. Now when it comes to this, trusted, okay, see, like I didn't spell trusted well, but of course it's one of those things. So trusted. So now when it comes to this, I'm always very careful when it comes to this aspect of sending people my design to rate, right? So I must really trust you. Yeah, because in most cases you have people who don't want to make you feel bad. Oh, it's nice, it's the wow. Some say, boss, wow, boss, tells this thing, they blind us, stuff like that. Most times all those things are just whining, like, if you understand what whining is. So I go to people who can really tell me the frank truth. How is this design? Okay, when you are telling me the design is bad, I'm asking you, okay, why do you think this design is bad? What do you think I can do to make it better? Right? Not those ones that will just make you feel good about it, and at the end of the day they are killing you. They're online, you just post a design. I see a lot of designs online, right? And when you post them, wow, this is so nice, boss, these designs are not nice anyway, but people want to buy into your conscience. Of course, they need a favor from you. They want you to teach them for free, and they will get to tell you all those flattery words. And also, it is very important to ask people. See, in this creative world, right, nothing is your own, so you shouldn't feel as if you are trying to leak a secret or something. Nothing. It's not yours. It's not yours. You see, you got it from somewhere. There is nothing new under the sun. So you should be able to, ask a trusted friend. Then by comparison, right, sometimes after I'm done with a design, I don't send the client immediately. I don't send the client immediately. So I take my first design and my second design and I stay with it. Sometimes I send it on my phone, I take a walk with it, and I just try to put myself in the position of the audience that I'm trying to sell this product to. Now, these things, as I'm saying it might not make sense to you, but this is just what makes you different from an ordinary designer. You're trying to pass a message to people. So I try to compare it. Sometimes I might go to the competitors' page, look at the competitors' design, and also look at the one I'm also doing, to just be sure that I'm actually saying the same message the competition is saying. Because before a client comes to give you a design to do, he must have seen something somewhere. He must have seen something somewhere that he liked, then he is giving to you as a designer. So you must make sure that you are able to maintain that rhythm, you're able to maintain that flow. Then by eyes, I've talked about by eyes before, I actually take it on my phone, take my phone backward and make sure that I'm seeing all the fonts, all the fonts are legible. Then finally print it out. Yeah, this might be a little bit, but the truth is this, right? There is something about print design. I've been doing print design for years now, right? It's still a mystery to me that once you print out a design, you get to find some mistakes you didn't see on screen. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works, but it always happens. So if I'm doing a very, very important jobs like that, before I go for mass production, right, I ensure that I read through, send it to people to read through. Then sometimes I can go to just print it out and make sure that I have a felt copy, a hard copy, then to be sure that this is what I'm trying to mass produce. So that's how it works. Then finally is how to pair fonts. When you are pairing fonts, right, it's good you use different typefaces. So typefaces could be different size, different weight. Yeah, different size, different weight. Now, when designing, you shouldn't use more than 3 fonts. Now, in most cases, you can actually use just 1 font on a design. So let's just do something here. Let's do something here. Let me get this, and let me draw an artboard. And so let's use Glory. Glory is just what is on my mind today, and let's say the theme of this program is Glory, right? We have our Glory here, and then we want to have a scripture for Glory. I don't know any scripture. Let's just say Psalms 14. That's what talks about glory, right? Yeah. Psalms 14. I will just make this font maybe 20. Yeah. Make this font 20. I keep it here. Then I would come here. I'll put service days. Service days. And in my service days, this is a very good church. They only meet maybe once a week. So once a week, or twice in a week. I don't know why. Okay, but it's not a church program. So 9 a.m. Then Wednesday they meet 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Okay, so yeah, there, and auto, and this is it. Now, so my service day, I would just want to customize my service day. I want it to be all caps. Then I want the tracking to be maybe 500. Make it more. I want to make it smaller, and then I'll have this here. Let me just make this 16, and I want to give it a leading. Yeah, leading of maybe 24. Yeah. So you see this design, right? In this design here, I've only used one design, but with different size and also different weight. Yeah, you can see this weight here is actually different from the one I wrote Sundays from. So how can I achieve that? I can as well even come for that on the timing, and maybe make it heavy. Okay, this is 6 p.m. You get. So this is a good way on how to pair font. Now another way is this, right? So I have Glory. So let me change my font to something like Archivo. Okay, so I have to make it all classes. This font, this Archivo, is actually very beautiful font. So I have Archivo here, Glory. Yeah. So let me make this one here. Now I have Archivo and I have Lato, using the same font. So in order to make it look alike, I can also tilt it a little bit, maybe just like this. But anyway, I know you understand what I'm trying to say here. And on my service day, I will use Archivo. My service day, I will use Archivo. Maybe I'll use the straight medium, and I have this. So you can see how I've been able to pair this font. Now it is important that you pair fonts that are, of course, that have the same feel. Then you can also use distinct fonts, totally different fonts. So let's say I wanted to use a different font here. I will just come to service. of course, maybe reduce it because I want to use a, a scripting font. Yeah, or maybe a sans-serif font. You can see how this is different, right? But when using a totally different font, it is very important that you don't overuse it, right? You don't overuse it. So in most cases, now it works. It works when you use just different weights to make your font different, right? So like I said, most professional designs, you don't see too many fonts there. The idea is this: you are passing a message, right? That is the idea. So I can choose to use scripting fonts and all, but of course it might just be maybe one line, maybe one heading, out of a very um, long design you get. So I can just say, okay, I would want to use my scripting font just to write the heading, right? And make sure that others are just still maintaining the same font, right? This font gives me a feel of service of songs, service of songs that you still have, the content to be a straight font. So it's also um, that's how it should be anyway. So you get, so like I've talked about using different typefaces. You can come here and change this to regular. Yeah, and I think we still have something good. Now, there are sometimes you see fonts online, right? And you're worried about how how they got them, or rather, there are sometimes you see some fonts and you really like those fonts. So let's just go to Pinterest and see something. So Pinterest. So let me say church flyer, church flyer design. So we'll just look for a font. So most of this kind of fonts, right, are custom fonts, right? I don't know this font, but we'll check it. But most of this font, okay. So this is a way to get fonts anyway. So when you see a design, right, and you like the font, you can open the font and you can see here, please, which font did you use, and please, how can I get the hex code? So you check these conversations. Most designers don't like don't like telling people about their font. Yeah, but I really don't know why that is. Yeah, but in most cases, most of these are just custom fonts. Custom fonts in the sense that you you get the fonts, then you also do little tweaks, in getting them. So in this case, right, you can actually replicate this font. So one way to do that is to go on their conversation to check, but it's obvious that this person here did not answer 3 months ago. Yes. So, but let's say we can save this copy. Yeah. Let me look for a place to save it. Let me on desktop, right? And then go to this site. This site is called myfont.com. Now, when you come to myfont.com, you come to this place here that has a picture icon and you click on it. So the idea here is it takes you to a place where you can either type or paste your image URL here. So you can actually upload your picture or you can just paste. So I'll come to download and I'll come here. I will click it. Now the truth is, for designs like this, right, it's good you have just few fonts, maybe like one font, than making it do a lot of selection, right? You can see here is selecting special invitation, is also selecting Easter Sunday, and of course it's selecting all these other things which might not give you something accurate. But anyways, I would want us to go back. Yeah, I want us to go back and bring that particular design into Photoshop. Yeah, I would want us to take it into Photoshop, then cut out every other thing apart from what we want. So let me say this is what I want. Yeah, duplicate this. save. I just want this to be maybe on a PNG. Yeah, still save it on my document so I can easily access it. And then here, and go back to the site and upload. Yeah, this is it here. So open. So now it's trying to identify my image. Yeah, so I'll just click on identify font, and it's trying to identify the font. So it's trying to bring out options. Okay, so this is it. Yeah, this is Bulgar, regular. Now, like I said, that most of those fonts are created fonts, right? Yeah, but you can see this Miracle is actually close to it. This is Classical Romance Ultra. Yeah, I think is it. It's just it. Is it? But we can, of course, don't always settle just with one option, right? So you can check for various options, and then you have it. So what you can do here to get this font, because now this font is sold here, right? It's a sold font here. So what you can do is this Classical Romance Ultra, select the name. Okay, you can also do that. Select the name and go to your browser, Google, paste it, and type free. Maybe free download. And let's hope that we get to see something like that. So it's on B font. So this is another site where you can get fonts. There are a lot of fonts to get, a lot of sites to get fonts rather. There are a lot of sites to get fonts. So you might not need to worry yourself. So this is it here, Classical Romance. So let's scroll down to see, and we can have a download button here. And you see we've been able to download a font that is supposed to be sold. Yeah. So it's, I believe it's downloading here. It says your download is starting in 5 minutes. So you can see using this technique, you can actually get any font from any design. You just make sure that when you get that flyer, you crop out the font. Now you might not necessarily come to Photoshop, you know, that is if you don't use Photoshop. If you use Canva, you can also crop out that part, or any other software at all, so long there is a tool there that can enable you crop out that part of the text that you are searching for. So you see we have the Classical Romance here downloaded on my system already. So let's go back to our slide and let's see if we have something else to talk about. Yeah, so you can also do that on fontpair.com. So www.fontpair.com, what does it do? It just gives you ideas on how and which font you can pair together, right? On how and which font you can pair together. It's actually a nice font, so you can just feed your eyes, you know, that is, you know, just feed your eyes to get something good out of your design. This is how it works. You can check pairings, you know, you just play around. So this is DM serif display and DM sans. You know, you can just pair these two. Now it doesn't just pair them for you, it gives you also the names of this font, which is nice. So this is Work Sans and this is Merriweather. Nice professional combinations, you know, that you can use for your design. This is Oswald and this is sans-serif Pro.
You can click on fonts.
This is Monsera and Heed. Yeah, this is a very nice combination. Yeah, I trust I'm going to be trying this combination. Then on my list, I think I have one other font which is called fontsloader.com. Yeah, sometimes due to network you might not get this font, but it's a good font where you have a good site. It's a good site where you have a lot of resources here, where you have beautiful, like really beautiful fonts, you know, and you can download them for free. So having all this, I believe that by now your font selection processes would have shifted into coming out very great. So if you have questions, you can always reach out to me. I hope that this short video would help you and also is a blessing to you. Yeah, so you can reach out to me for your questions, and definitely I'll get back to you once I get your message. So finally, you can connect with us. Yeah, you can definitely connect with me on my social media handles. Yeah, so this is Sam's Works. Yeah, you can connect with me here and get to see those goodies that I'll be dropping for you, because I've made up my mind to be a blessing to my community. Yeah, so I'm going to be dropping a lot of goodies. So just follow us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram to be notified when we have another free package for you like this. So until next time, see you again some other time. Please don't forget to subscribe and share this video to someone. Thank you and see you next time.